What is up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. This is the Matt Ramage Show, and I'm your host, you know what I mean? And we're going to talk about some football right here. We got the Green Bay Packers #1 in the NFC, you know what I mean? And that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? And we're going to talk about that. I mean, we're not hanging banners. I see people on Facebook getting all feisty because I even brought that up. Like, how dare I mention it? But before we get in talking about this, we got Micah Parsons, 3-sack ball game. A lot of stuff to talk about. Josh Jacobs. But before we get into all of that, big shout out to the sponsors of the show. We're talking about Kwik Trip. We're talking about Nicolet Law. But Kwik Trip, they got that bake sale going on right now. You know what I mean? I just posted a video today about that. They have check out their bakery. They got a nice little variety of bakery. They got a sale going on now through November. I forget the exact date, but in November, check the Quick Rewards app to find out all the details on that, and go down there and get yourself some donuts. They got the best donuts. They got all types of different variety of donuts. So head up to Kwik Trip Bake Sale. Nicolet Law, if you get injured, need a lawyer to talk to, the insurance companies are being kind of flaky with you, check out Nicolet Law, nicoletlaw.com. Russ Nicolet and his crew, you know what I mean? They're real Wisconsin people, the real Midwest folks. They're going to help you, you know what I mean? And they're good lawyers, you know what I mean? That's the most important part right there, you know what I mean? But go, Pack, go. What is up? United Bates jumping into the chat over here. And I appreciate everyone who's tuning in live. And if you're tuning in live, be sure to check out the podcast, do the audio version. This will also be on there if you miss any of it. But I want to talk a little bit about, before we get into the Green Bay Arizona game, you know what I mean? Because that was a crazy game, and I want you to hammer the chat. Let me know your feelings on that. But come next month, I'm gonna be going to New York. The Packers taking on the Giants, you know what I mean? And I know that game is actually played in New Jersey. Everyone tells me that. I'm going to be there. I think it's like 4 or 5 days doing all the tourist stuff. Dude, it's going to be crazy. I got my real ID today, which is kind of weird that you need an ID. Like, the driver's license is enough. All right, I won't even get into that. But that like is like I don't get it. But anyways, I'm going to be there, and it's going to be wild being on an airplane. I've never been on an airplane before. Never really left Wisconsin too much, we kind of tiptoe outside the border every now and again, you know what I mean? They got a Kmart over there in Michigan, but you know what I mean? It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for it. We're gonna be Cheesehead TV. They're doing a hangout over there. They always do those, whatever, Cheesehead TV. I think they're called hangouts. I forget what they're called. Meetups. There you go, meetups. I'm gonna stop in there. So if you're at that thing, come say what's up to me. You know what I mean? It's gonna be awesome. But it's gonna. I think being on an airplane is gonna be wild. Because I was talking to Vinny, the producer, about this before, you know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna be like I'm on a roller coaster, just be like as this thing takes off. Maybe I'll make a video of it, just me, crying. I think you can drink at airports though, so I'll get there early. You know what I mean? Get after it. But anyways, we're gonna talk about some Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals right here. You know what I mean? The Packers win, all right, against Arizona Cardinals. People are upset though still. I don't get it, because I get it that the Packers aren't playing how we think that they should play it, and how they should play. You think the Packers should dominate the Cardinals, but they're not losing. You know what I mean? They are #1 in the NFC. And I think it's okay to be happy. Like, just enjoy the process, because you look at Super Bowl teams, they don't always look like a Super Bowl teams throughout the whole season. You know what I mean? But we're checking right here. We got the graphics. Green Bay 4-1-1 on top of the NFC. Then you got San Francisco 5-2. The Eagles are also 5-2. Tampa Bay 5-2. Detroit 5-2. Seattle 5-2, the Rams 5-2. So there's a big cluster there. And then you got the Bears at 4-2. You know what I mean? And they're right above Carolina. So the NFC is kind of wild right now. You know what I mean? Think about this, how close everyone is together. But the Packers, that tie, helping them all right now. And talking about that tie, because people kept telling me that tie is going to hurt them, that tie is going to hurt them in the end. Yeah, and that's how it is. The tie can hurt you. If the Packers start losing, that tie, they could be a half game behind. But right now, they're a half game ahead. And dude, all that matters is just keep winning. They take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk about that game in a little bit. But let's talk about this. Let's check out the AFC real quick, though, before we move on to that. The Colts, dude, 6-1. They're the surprise team of the NFL. We talked about that every week. Seems like on a Pick'em show. New England at 5-2, I think, which is another surprise I didn't really think about. Denver 5-2, their fans are heated right now. Why are they freaking out? They're like the new Lions of this week, just whining about the refs. You know what I mean? Pittsburgh 4-2, Buffalo 4-2, the Chargers at 4-3. And Jaguars are 4-3. You know what I mean? The AFC kind of got clustered a little bit too, but the NFC looking a little bit better right there. I'm gonna get to some chat over here to talk to the folks. You will love the plane ride. Yeah, I'm not sure I will. It should be all right. What's up, Packer Driven? Howdy there, Matt. How you doing? You know what I mean? Erica popping in here. Hey, Matt and Vinny, go Pat, go. Packer Driven says, how do you find Chicago? Find Green Bay on a map and look down just like the standings. You know what I mean? I have never wanted to find Chicago. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't care. People talk about the word ugly win. I think is stupid. I don't think it was an ugly win. I think it was a win. They started slow. Obviously, you want your offense to start faster than what the Packers did. I think that is the biggest thing for the Packers is to start fast. Don't wait till the second half to get it going. Yes, they should have. The Arizona Cardinals is a team that they should have beat up. But if you look at the Tampa Bay Lions game. The Detroit had all their secondary was out. Every starter from week 1 when the Packers beat the Lions, they were all out. So and then you think, oh, Tampa Bay's gonna destroy them. I made my prize picks based on that. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the case. So you never know what happens. So you just have to collect these wins. You just have to get these wins. And they got the win. You know what I mean? Be happy with it. Packers and NFC. I don't know of any fan base that they could be on top of the NFC and be upset about it. And that's another thing. When I made that post, I posted on Facebook or whatever, and I said Packers #1 seed in the NFC, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna hang the banner." Dude, I'm not bragging about. I'm not saying it's the season's over. I was just saying that's what it is. Every week, everyone talks about who's on top. They're kind of looking how things are stacked up. And right now, week 7, Packers are in the position that you want to be in at this spot of the season, right? I'm not saying that they got to, but what it means is that they're in control. They're in control of their destiny. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing. Let's get to a few more comments over here. Evening, bro. Sucks. Vince ate your brownies. Cheers. You know what I mean? That's that video. You know what I mean? That was Martin Scorsese stuff right there. Written, directed by me. You know what I mean? But shout out to Ivan Lars over here. He's in the chat sometimes. He helped record some of that. So so I want to show a little bit. Vinny, don't have a video from this game. We got some highlights. What are we doing?
We do have some highlights. I do have the stats available for you too.
Oh, yeah, so let's go over the stats real quick. You know what I mean? This is a professional show right here. You know what I mean? Got to have stats. All right, so here we go. Jordan Love in this particular ball game is 19-29, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception. Here's the thing too. I might talk about this later a little bit too. But whenever people talk about Jordan Love, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but whenever people talk about Jordan Love, they act like he's an interception machine, and he's not. He has 2 interceptions on this season. You know what I mean? That's not a ridiculously good game. You know what I mean? 18-29, 179 yards and a touchdown, but it was enough. They got to get it going a little bit early. You know what I mean? But Josh Jacobs had 13 carries, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right, 2 touchdowns was key. And then Jordan Love had 4 runs for 22 yards, which helped me in my prize picks, but George Pickens didn't do his part. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into it. But Romeo Doubs out here with 6 catches, 72 yards. Tucker Kraft, 5 catches, 58 yards? And a Teddy. I always like to see Tucker Kraft in the end zone, you know what I mean? Especially he's on my fantasy team. Matthew Golden, 4 catches, 37 yards. Looked like they got some stuff going with him. People are still upset about Matthew Golden not getting force fed the ball. You know what I mean? That's what they want. And I don't think that's what this offense is ever going to be. They're not. I don't want them to either. Remember when the Packers used to force feed Randall Cobb? I don't know why I said Romeo Dobbs. Randall Cobb back in the day used to drive me nuts when they were just trying to just kind of force to him on these weird plays. Let your offense play out. You know what I mean? But then we go down here. We're gonna look at defense. 9 tackles for Quay Walker over here. You know what I mean? 1.5 sacks for Quay Walker's. And the one I want to go through is Micah Parsons right here. What do you have? 5 total sacks. It's hard to read over here. 4 solo, 3 sacks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was tackles. I don't know if I said sacks, but 3 sacks for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has never had 3 sacks. With the Cowboys. So that was huge. And then think about his sacks. Micah Parsons' sacks were so good. They were at very good very good times. That's what they brought him here for. Like when we need a play, it's 3rd down. We need a stop. You know what I mean? He was able to get that. All right, so let's go up and look at the Cardinals offense real quick and see what they were doing. So we had Brissett. I was saying his name wrong the whole time. I think I was saying Brisket. You know what I mean? I apologize. That was on a watch party. He was 25 of 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? That's not glorious, but he had 110.8 quarterback rating. That's better than you expect. Brissett, he's not the starter. I'm not even sure if he's the backup. He might have been the number 3. And then Knight had 14 carries for 57 yards. They didn't have outstanding sack. McBride kind of got a piece of them. 10 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was the one right there. But those are the stats for that particular ball game. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't as good as you think that they should have done. But they got that W. My biggest thing is they got to get this offense going early. And then the play calling, Matt LaFleur kind of talked about a little bit. One of his calls, he said that was a bad call or whatever. I love me some Matt LaFleur. But the play calling, leaves a little bit to be be desired over here. We got True Northern Packer fan says, Ramage, do we know if Ivan made it out of the Walmart parking lot alive? I have no idea. Actually, I saw him. We did that video yesterday. So there we go. Packers Driven says, I feel like the Packers offense is more balanced compared to the force feeding from 12 days. Back then, you knew it was going to Cobb or Adams 75% of the time. That's the thing. And back then, people were complaining about that. When Rodgers, he just feeds the ball to his friends. You know what I mean? And this offense isn't going to do that. They're going to, whoever's open, but I don't want them force feeding it. But the offense has to get going early. I don't care who gets the ball. You know what I mean? I don't care who gets it. But this comment right here, Brisket, cheating on Kwik Trip with Buc-ee's. No. I thought his name was Brisket. My wife texted me during my watch party. She's like, are you saying Brisket on purpose? And I was like, I had to look at his name. I was like, oh, it's Brissett. And I knew that too. I don't know why in my brain it was like, no, that's Brisket. You know what I mean? But yeah, a win is a win. Obviously, they got to step their game up. They're playing against the Steelers. And I think they will, because that seems to be the Packers' philosophy right now, is play as good as the other team. Kind of all their games are close, and every win that they have, they scored 27 points. So I don't think they need to even worry about anything except for scoring 27 points. You know what I mean? You score 27 points, you're going to win, because that's what they did. So what else we got there, Vinny?
Well, I've got some highlights from the games. One of the big ones, was the 61-yard field goal, which was
let's show some highlights. I'm not even sure we're allowed to do this, but we're going to do it anyways. Look at this, the longest field goal. Right here.
Lucas Haverson from 61, and the kick.
Dude, that was just perfect. Mason Crosby made a post about that. And he was talking about he has this football, I think it was 2011, if I remember right, the year that he got that record. It was against the Vikings. And he's like, what do I do with this football now? But yeah, dude, absolutely. That's the crazy thing is do the Packers have a kicking controversy? Kickers controversy. Do you think McManus is still the guy when he comes back from injury? I tend to think he's still the guy. I think that they trust him. That's the guy they want. Now, can they? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a weird situation, a tough situation for the Packers. This dude just belted a 61-yarder. I think if he's available, someone's probably going to come get him. Someone's got a sketchy kicker in the league. They're like, hey, what's this guy doing? You know what I mean? We're going to find out. But I don't know. Maybe we need to have some kicking controversy stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, Packers Driven said, what a cool story for our kicker, right? Yeah, that's the thing. He was going to be a substitute teacher Like he was that he was getting ready to gear up for substitute teacher, and the Packers called him, and here he is. And then for one of the oldest teams in the league to have a record, and that's forever, dude. I mean, I think kickers are really cranking them, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I feel like that's an amazing story. He's gonna be a substitute teacher, and then if he ends up going back and he'd be like, what'd you do? And yeah, I just went over there and hammered down a 61 yarder. You know what I mean? Just breaking Packer records. You know what I mean? The kid was about to sign up to be a substitute teacher and dropped 61 yarder. Absolutely Packers driven. So let's see what Erica's saying here. She said, yeah, Mason Crosby posted a video on Instagram congratulating our kicker on breaking his record. Yeah, Mason Crosby real classy about it. You know what I mean? Records are made to be broken. You know what I mean? It was interesting. So what else we got there, Vinny? Let's keep
it. Also, for fun right here, I just thought it'd be kind of cool. We've got a new nickname for Matthew Golden now. He is now the Golden Cop Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Golden. He's shoved out of bounds inside the 10, setting up a first and goal.
Cop jumps up and kind of laughs about a little bit, I think, after the fact. But, dude, can you imagine that? Because I was thinking that. I always feel bad for those, they're working security. They got their back to the field. They're watching people like me, having a few drinks, and they're like, this guy's going to jump off this thing. You know what I mean? They're watching, they're dialed in. And then they can see the commotion, everyone watching, and he could probably see everyone's eyeballs get closer and closer to him. And then all of a sudden, poof, he just lit up and he's rolling on the ground. You know what I mean? But I think, he was all right. But yeah, Matthew Golden woke him up if he wasn't if he wasn't awake right there. But what else we got there, Vinny?
Okay, there are two other big stories besides the 61-yard field goal from the game.
What else?
One was the big fumble at the end, which sealed the game, which is this right here.
New set of downs. As Brissett has the ball knocked loose. Fumble. It's recovered by the Packers.
That was Rashawn Gary, right?
If I'm correct, I think it was. If I'm correct,
I think it was Rashawn Gary who calls it him. I see everyone arguing on Twitter. My memory. We were drinking beers, you know what I mean, during that game. But yeah, dude, that defense. That's the thing. They came with it when they had to. I know a lot of people are upset. They're like, yeah, they should have been. It should have been. But what it was, end of that game when it was on the line, both offensively and defense. They got what they needed to get. You know what I mean?
It came through at the right time. They did it. The other big story, which I know you wanted to touch up on this one and kind of talk about it, was the little kid with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. So Josh Jacobs, he scores his touchdown, and he doesn't see this kid, which is funny because the way that we're gonna show the video, but the way the touchdown is, I'm like, dude, he's got worse vision than me. You know what I mean? How does he not see this kid? But Josh Jacobs reached out and said, hey, I got you. And I believe that happened. I think I saw on Twitter that happened. And if the Packers want to find someone in the audience, in the stands, they're going to find him, you know what I mean? But play that beautiful bean footage.
Defensive players. First and goal from the 7. Inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Josh Jacobs.
Good pop up right here. Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, first of all, is a stand-up dude. He really is. He's Green Bay people. He's great to have on the Packers team. He's a great leader. You have this video clip of him in the locker room after the game, after the game. But he's a good leader on the field, off the field, in the community, hooking up that kid. You know what I mean? He's just a good dude. You know what I mean? Shout out to Josh Jacobs. I'm glad he's our RB1.
Yeah, that's outstanding that he's reaching out to that kid too, because immediately he went online after the game and said, basically he was sorry about it and he's got something for that kid. That's
yeah.
class.
I'm sure someone told him. He probably didn't see it, and people were probably talking on the side, because I'm sure that video was doing numbers on Twitter or whatever. And then he was like, oh, I got to hook that kid up. But yeah, I'm sure that happened because the Packers can find. Because I saw people on Facebook talking about because I posted about it, and they were like, let me know if he gets it. But the Packers can find you. You know what I mean? If you are in that stadium, they can find you. They probably got facial recognition. Beep, 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 beep. You know what I mean? Those futuristic movies. You think so?
Exactly. Yeah. It could happen. And then the other video that I have for you tonight is the post-game speech from LaFleur with the players in the locker room. And it was the reason I wanted to show this one is just to show how tight our team is. It's a good locker room presence. The guys care about each other, and just showing how good of players we actually have, how decent they are.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I wanted to
absolutely.
play this here.
There we go.
Victory Monday! Hey man, there's never a doubt. What we say, just keep swinging. It ain't always gonna be easy. Give it up for yourself. There was a lot of great performances out there, but I gotta mention 3 guys, all right? This guy came in freaking a week ago, and he just kicked the longest field goal in
Talk to him, coach.
Next guy had a career day, 3 sacks.
There we go.
Micah Parsons.
I just appreciate y'all for walking with me. This journey hasn't been easy, but y'all been making this special. Can't wait to keep going.
There was some doubt whether or not this guy was going to play today.
Back to back.
Fine. Josh Jacobs.
I don't ever want anybody in here to doubt what I give and how I care about y'all boys, bro. Every day I come in this bro to work, and I can't look you in the eye, bro, if I don't give everything I got. I love y'all boys, bro, and I appreciate y'all for everything, bro. Let's keep working.
And I just want to tell you guys, I'm so proud of you. We came in here against adversity from last night. We gutted it out. We saw some glimpses of complimentary football, defense getting us the ball. We go putting points on the board. We just got to keep driving that home. Every game, one play at a time.
Go Pack on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go back.
So there we go. That was courtesy of Green Packers. We just jacked that stuff. Not sure we're allowed to do that, but we're gonna find out. They'll let us know. You know what I mean? But dude, that was awesome. You know, Josh Jacobs, obviously a huge leader in that locker room. He kind of mentioned in a different interview that he had to fight to play. Like he had to like kind of convince them that he could play, because the Packers are protective of their players, no matter what you want to hear from like the couple random players that leave and they're upset or whatever. But the Packers are very protective of their players come injury wise. So and then he played well, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's I feel like he is like the key to this offense. Like I feel like he's like the leader. Like obviously Jordan Love is the quarterback, he's the captain. But Josh Jacobs has a huge voice in the locker room. Absolute awesome dude, you know what I mean? But Jay Gibson, appreciate the comment. He said we will beat Pittsburgh. Go Pack, go! Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second right here. But yeah, so let's keep it moving over here. So let's talk about some possible players coming back. You know what I mean? That are not here right now. But Christian Watson is like obviously the main one. So Christian Watson, will he play against Pittsburgh? I kind of feel like he's going to play. They brought him off IR. I kind of figured like at that time that they would sit him, let him get back in the locker room, get back in going through the moment, and then play against Pittsburgh. We're going to find out. But when Christian Watson on this offense is going to look so much different. Like he can really take the top off. Like he can do so much. Just one more tool. Like they are down so many wide receivers. You know what I mean? Everyone's talking about, they want to get Matthew Golden. The Micah Parsons thing. It's like, it's not just his numbers, his stats. It's how the defense is going to have to, prepare for him, and how the defense is going to have to respect his speed and his game. Kind of like how Micah Parsons, he frees up guys like Rashawn Gary to get strip sacks. You know what I mean? So I'm absolutely excited about Christian Watson come back. And let's see what Dennis is talking about. He says, it's not that I don't like LaFleur. His play calling just throws me off sometimes. Love our team, go Pack, go. And that's the thing talking about Matt LaFleur. I'm a big Matt LaFleur fan. But like all his play calling, I don't love all of it all the time. You know what I mean? It leaves a little bit to be desired sometimes. And I think he knows that. He's trying stuff. He's trying to get creative. But and he kind of mentioned that like in his press conference too, that they mentioned, I forget exactly what call it was. I think it was that pitch. I mean, that 4th down pitch they're talking about. And he was like, yeah, that was a bad call. And it was, dude. I have faith in Matt LaFleur, but the play calling, you know what I mean? That's what everyone's talking about. And that's I got faith he's gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of those Jets. I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff, but I do love me some Matt LaFleur. But we just gotta we have to figure out this offense. We have to figure it out to get it going early right here. You know what I mean? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about next week a little bit. It's early.
Oh, real
week,
quick,
you know what I mean?
before you jump to that, man.
What do you got?
When you were talking about the players in the locker room, how like Josh Jacobs is like probably a good leader in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
Well, usually in Green Bay history, we always looked at the quarterbacks like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, those guys as a leader. Well, recently there was a video that came out. Rex Ryan was pretty much bashing our quarterback. And I wanted to see if you could touch on this and get everybody's comments on this one right here, because I kind of think this was kind of uncalled for, because I think that he gets, how can I say, I think that Jordan gets a bad rap because he's actually playing decent, and he gets a bad rap.
Rex Ryan, dude, that dude, play that beautiful beating footage.
Okay, here we go.
Jordan Love, man, I got no love for Jordan Love, and I've never have. And why? Yes, he's got unbelievable ability, and we'll see some amazing plays from him. But at the end of the day, do I trust Jordan Love? No, I don't, because I think he's going to take – and he doesn't do it. Statistically, he says, oh, no, he doesn't turn the ball over. Oh, yes, he does. The biggest moments, he'll turn it over.
Dude, I don't get that, because like the whole turnover thing. Whenever people talk about Jordan Love and they're talking about like interceptions and he's a turnover machine, I don't respect your opinion, because you're not watching the games. You're not watching what's going on. Like if you want to criticize Jordan Love and like and it actually makes sense, I'm good with it. But Rex Ryan, I think he put his foot in his mouth there, but I bet he wish he could. You know what I mean? He likes the feet. That's what I heard. You know what I mean? But dude, Rex Ryan, I just feel like he's just a negative tool, and that's kind of like what you see on TV now. Yeah, Jordan Love isn't perfect. He's made some mistakes. I think he has 2 interceptions on the season though. Like the offense obviously has to get going earlier in games. But to say like Jordan Love like isn't that guy, and like he said it right there, he doesn't like Jordan Love. I've heard him talk trash about Jordan Love before. Rex Ryan is just a tool. You know what I mean? There's a reason why he's not coaching no more. You know, I think Brady ended his career. Don says, because Rex Ryan knows quarterbacks, LOL, give me a break. Name a successful quarterback he coached. You can't. See, that's the thing. When Rex Ryan's talking about quarterbacks, you shouldn't care. Now, if you hear like Mike McCarthy talking about quarterbacks, I mean, you can name a lot of offensive coaches around the league talking about quarterbacks. Like you can like, all right, if they get a career or whatever in the booth, like you can kind of respect it. But what does Rex Ryan know about quarterback? Who has he ever coached? I mean, he was a defensive coach to begin with, but like, who has he even had as a quarterback? He's on TV talking about stuff. If he wants to be on TV talking about stuff he knows about, just stick to feet, dude. Do some Dr. Scholl's commercials or something. You know what I mean? Ryan is saying that because of the San Fran playoff game. But you can't just like go off like one game. I just feel like he doesn't like Jordan Love, and he's always gonna trash him. Like, I'm not saying Jordan Love's perfect, but I think Rex Ryan doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. It's hard for Love following A-Rod and Favre. Rex is just trying to draw attention to himself. Yeah, and it is tough because there's a lot of pressure on Jordan Love. Expectations are very high for Jordan Love because like what Packer fans are accustomed to. So anytime he makes a mistake, but like it always throws me off people talking about he's an interception machine because he's really not. He doesn't throw a ton. Hey, he's throwing some bad opportunities, like that one in that Browns game. That was horrible. But he got 2 on the year, you know what I mean? An Arizona fan behind me was bad-mouthing Jordan Love the whole game and said Packers were not a playoff team. And that's what's always funny to me is people talk about this team isn't a playoff team or this team isn't a Super Bowl contender because like during the season, first of all, the Packers are a playoff team. They went to the playoffs the last 2 seasons, you know what I mean? And right now they're atop the NFC. But like it doesn't even matter to call teams like Super Bowl contenders. Like all that really means is like this is a team that can potentially go the distance. They're going to be in the race. But all you have to do is win enough games to get into the playoffs, you know? What's his name? It's Herman Edwards. He said, just get into the dance, you know what I mean? Just get into the tournament. And that's what it is. So, Don right here, Mark Sanchez, give me a break. He just got beat up by an old man in the Indianapolis because he was hammered. People say silly things to keep themselves in the mix. If you knew what he was talking about, he'd be coaching somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Rex Ryan didn't retire from coaching on purpose. You know what I mean? He did not retire from coaching on purpose. Let's see what Ben says. I got mad tonight, but you are the biggest fan I know. You rock. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my thoughts on Rex Ryan. That whole clip like kind of annoyed me. I saw it earlier this morning on Twitter. But that's what. Then maybe that's what we need. A little bit of trash talk, a little bit of people skeptics, you know what I mean, to keep the team fired up. I know like a lot of teams try to use that. They try to fake people are against them. I saw like on Twitter today, someone like, it was a Bills fan. He's like, everyone's betting against us. And they're like, dude, your quarterback won MVP last year. So like Chiefs fans do that too. They're like, oh, everyone's doubting us. Like, no, they're not. No one's doubting you. I mean, that's this year, maybe they are a little bit, but I've heard that for like years. Like while they're winning Super Bowl, it's like everyone's doubting us. Cause like fans like think they need like this, like Detroit does that. Detroit versus everyone. And I get that saying for the city of Detroit because, all that Detroit's went through. But I'm talking about like football wise, no, not everyone's against Detroit. People were like rooting for the Lions to be good. And then when they started getting good, their fans got stupid and everyone's like, screw you, I hope you lose. That's just kind of what it is. Robert says, Rex is crazy. Love has 3 turnovers all year. Strip sack versus Dallas, tip pass versus Bengals, and then DB read the play great as a pass that should have been thrown quickly. Go to bed and dream of Sanchez butt fumble over and over. Yeah, that's kind of what that is. That's a perfect comment right there. All right, so we're going next over to Pittsburgh. Is that what we're doing there, Vinny?
That is correct. We're down. We've covered everything except for no, we're down to everything except for talking about the biggest story we have, and that's facing Old Man Rodgers this Sunday night.
Old Man Aaron Rodgers. We're going to be heading off to Pittsburgh. The Packers haven't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers since Bart Starr was the quarterback. It was 1970.
In Pittsburgh. Got to say Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Yeah, we beat Pittsburgh. But in Pittsburgh, we haven't won since 1970. Bart Starr was the quarterback. I don't know what Vinny, I think, was over here. He was probably in his 20s at that point. But but here it is. I saw a stat today. I think I'm going to try to bring this up. I screenshot it. I think it was a stat from Peter Bukowski. See if I can find this thing. He said Aaron Rodgers leads the league in passer rating on throws in 2.5 seconds or less this season. That's from Peter Bukowski, and that's a good stat right there. And that is that's not good for the Packers. You know what I mean? Because how do you beat a good pass rush? Get rid of the ball quick. And Aaron Rodgers is the king of that. Aaron Rodgers knows how to get rid of the ball quick. He's got that arsenal. He's got the slants. They get offenses that can get rid of the ball quick. Your pass rush, it doesn't really matter. Like you have to stop that. And the Packers have seen that. The Packers defense has seen that. This year, teams are trying to do that. But Aaron Rodgers is the guy that can actually do it and do it at a high level. So the Packers are going to have to be ready. That secondary is going to have to be ready. And the pass rush is going to have to be fast. They're going to have to really get after it. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he has some special, he was playing here. I don't think that anything that matters, because when you're a quarterback at Rodgers' stature, in their film watching and their just knowledge of the game, they know what everyone's going to try to do against him. It doesn't matter he played here and knows the defense a little bit or whatever. He wasn't here then, but you know what I mean. But he and the players who are on Green Bay, I think there's 11 that played with Rodgers. So I don't think it's going to be all that, love lost and all that stuff. I think Rodgers, I love me some Aaron Rodgers. When he retires, come back and put the name in there. But on Sunday night, beat the dog crap out of him. Hope we have a really horrible game, but it won't be easy. But this is going to be a big test, not just for the Packers, but for the Steelers too. I think both these teams, it's going to be the most hyped up game of the week. Everyone's been talking about. And Sunday Night Football. We're doing a live watch party, so come hang out. And
our guys will
I'm
have
off
to
on Monday too.
Our guys will have to remember to get on and off the field quick too, because Rodgers is a master for looking for 12 guys on the field.
Catching people slipping. I'm sure they'll be talking about that all week. Mark said the Packers won 20-12 at Pittsburgh in 1970. Go Pack, go! Appreciate that exact stat there. Yeah.
That was when I was born. When I was born.
Was you born? I wasn't even thought of that, dude. My mom was probably still enjoying her life before children. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be NFL cinema, dude. It absolutely is. It's going to be one of the great games. I don't think it has that same vibe to it as like when Favre came back with the Vikings, obviously, because it's not a divisional game. I think that it's not going to be. I don't know, because when Favre came back with the Vikings, it was a little bit of hatred going on there. You know what I mean? There was at least for me, I wasn't down with Favre at all. You play for the Vikings, you know what I mean? You are the enemy. But him playing in Pittsburgh, I got no beef with Pittsburgh. I like Tomlin. I like the Steelers. Kind of their fans seem pretty good. But I hope they beat the dog crap out of them. I saw Green Bay Packers Daily. Shout out to Green Bay Packers Daily. He had a question last week. I posted it. I shared it. about well, is there any percent of you that will root for Aaron Rodgers? None. Not even a little bit. I did. Like, if I watch another game, I'll root for him. You know what I mean? Want to do well against the Green Bay Packers, dude. I want the Packers to beat the dog crap out of them. But you know, the Packers offense has to start early. They have to get it going early. They have to get that run game. Get the play calling has to be a little bit better. They got it. They don't try to be too slick with it. You know what I mean? On offense, run the ball. Get your plays. If Christian Watson's there, you know, push the ball downfield a little bit. Don't be scared. Let's see what Dennis is talking about. We are a great team when we have an early lead, and I think we should embrace that fact and front run all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Got to get the lead. You got to start fast to get that lead. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's like the biggest concern of me is like them not, you know, taking that first quarter off and kind of going through the motions and like they did with the Cardinals. And if you do that against, you know, a good offense. That, I mean, obviously the Packers defense is good and they're going to keep you in situations, but you can't just lean on them like that. You can't put that pressure on them. Let's, you know, get some lead if they, if your defense is holding them down in the first quarter. Cause I think last week was the first game that the Packers defense gave up a touchdown in the first quarter, if I'm correct. And, or I don't know if it was a touchdown. I think it was points. I think it was points.
Yeah, I think it was just points. Was it a field goal? Right?
Yeah, I think they got a field goal last week in the first quarter. So the Packers defense, they're keeping you in these games in the first quarter. The offense has to take out. You know, they have to start fast. They have to punch them in the throat a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's what we need from the Packers offense. And, you know, it's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be crazy. Aaron Rodgers is going to be fired up for it. And dude, Aaron Rodgers is not the dude to bet against. Like when things are, like his back's against the wall, maybe he's got criticism or like any type of like hyped up situation. I feel like Aaron Rodgers shows up. He shows up, especially when people are talking down to him and saying, oh, you know, when Jordan Love was kind of drafted, everyone's saying, oh, you know, they're moving on. I feel like that really spikes him up, and then he goes, and yeah, I'll just go win some MVPs. You know what I mean? So, you know, Rodgers ain't dead. Rodgers is still here. Rodgers, he's a threat, and that team is good. I mean, their record is what it is for a reason. Every game we won 27 points. So that was the thing we talked about earlier, I think. Is that the key shouldn't be defense, special teams. None of that matters. Just score 27 points. You know what I mean? If you got 24 points and you're at the 1 yard line, you need that thing to kick the field goal. You know what I mean? That seems to be the magic right there is just get to 27 points. You know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, everyone says right here. Don said, when we score 27 points, we are 4-0. So just go out there and score 27 points. You know what I mean? That's what I think should be the strategy. And
one thing I wanted to bring up before we end the show here, I was reading an article, and they were talking about Hobbs on defense.
Yeah,
and he gave up the second highest amount of yards on defense. I think it was a Viking was the one that gave up the most.
You're already bringing a long week, especially the game he just had. They're going to go at Hobbs. Hobbs is going to get a lot of attention. He's going to be a popular guy on defense. Yeah, they have to figure it out. You know.
So here's my thought.
They got to help out.
Do you sit Hobbs?
No, I don't think
because of that, or what do you do in this situation?
No, because I don't think they have much underneath them. You know what I mean? Their depth at secondary isn't all that good. I think if they could, they would. But I think they'll maybe give him some help. I'm not sure what they'll do. I'm not really good at, you know, I'm not a coach. But I assume that they'd bring some help his way if he's struggling. But yeah, he had a bad game. But I don't think that they're going to sit him because I don't think that they would believe that they got anything crazy impressive behind him. You know what I mean?
True, very true. But yeah, it just seems like that's going to be a weak spot. I think that's the part of the game we're really going to have to watch is secondary. Yeah.
We got ourselves a super chat over here. You know what I mean? It's simple. We need to be more physical. Appreciate that. $2 right there. And absolutely we do. You have to be more physical. And that's like what I want from this defense going into this. This season. We got the balloons over here. You know what I mean? But it's being physical, punch them in the face, being like having that kind of attitude, and then offensively, run the ball hard. Josh Jacobs and Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is like a dog, you know what I mean? He's like a man's man, you know what I mean? So like, absolutely, be more physical, and I appreciate you, Bill, over here. You know what I mean? You are the man. I appreciate you. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. But yeah, dude, Pittsburgh Steelers.
I felt like Bill was cheated because I was behind here. So. There you go, Bill.
There we go. We got the balloons. We're not going all the way up, though. What's going on here? You know what I mean? His production is.
Yeah, they're like covering. What is that?
Dude,
Okay. Oh well.
that's one less.
Yeah,
stereo
partial
making this
balloons.
week.
You know what? You want to see really good balloons? Come to our games and stuff like it. Yeah,
All right.
we've got good stuff there.
The Sunday Night Football, we will be with a watch party. Green Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. I am off Monday. I took the vacation day for that one because that's going to be a wild game. And also tomorrow night we have the Pick'em Show. Come hang out, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We're picking all games in the NFL. Thursday there will be no live stream for Thursday Night Football because I'm going to Milwaukee. I'm doing a podcast with Nicolet Law, Russ Nicolet over there. He has a podcast called Midwest Legends, and apparently, you know what I mean, I'm a Midwest legend. I didn't know it, but I'm going to be on that podcast, and then we're going to be meeting up with Vinny over here. He's going to hook me up with some lights. Maybe the lighting will be better. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'll be back. I think I'll be back before the game, but I don't want to rush and stuff. I don't know if I will. I don't want to schedule it now, so I'm late. Whatever. So we're not going to do one Thursday. I'm sure everyone will be all right. But Friday we're going to do game night. We're going to come hang out Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be doing some type of game. I think we're going to do like a trivia type thing.
Something where everybody can get involved. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the comment section get involved. You can answer. It's not about me or won't have no guests. We're just it's all about the viewer. You know what I mean? Because that's what we care about. You know what I mean? Mark says right here, Packers are -3.5 versus Steelers with 44.5 over under. You know what I mean? So they're favored by 3.5 over there. I'm trying to figure out this spread, the minus and pluses and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a very, very close game. I don't think it's gonna be one-sided one way or the other. I think it's gonna be close. But there we go. Come hang out with us Sunday Night Football.
5 letters here.
You know what I mean?
Just for everybody out there in Packerland and yourself today. RELAX. Relax.
And that wasn't for Steelers fans. That was for Packer fans. You know what I mean? But we're going to wrap this thing up. Go, Pack, go. Appreciate y'all watching. If you're watching, be sure to subscribe to the Matt Ramage Show everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Amazon, I think Apple, Spotify, all those places that have podcasts. You can find my show there. So go check it out. And if you listen on the podcast, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. You can go to thematramage.com, find all my socials, my merch, everything that you want from me. And you know what I mean? Like, you don't got enough of me right now. You know what I mean? But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go, Pack, go. Let's go get another W. Number 1 in the NFC, your Green Bay Packers.